Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Mike and today's video is going to be a full face of OG Essence and Catrice makeup. Why do I say OG? These are products in Essence and Catrice's line that have been around for years. If you don't know, Essence and Catrice are two brands that refresh their line every 6 months. They discontinue a lot of products, then bring in new stuff for the season. Over here where I live, we get them quite quickly, but they do sometimes take a little bit of time to roll these product lines out across the globe. So especially if you're in the US, the stuff we got in like September, October has now finally made its way into Ulta last January. So you should now be able to get those products. But I always get lots of comments from people on my videos whenever I do videos on these updated lines. I can't get these, I can't find these, where did you find them? Well, I can simply go out and buy these at my local drugstore. However, I thought it would be fun to do a video where I talk about products that I know have been in their line for absolutely ages. We're going throwback for sure, bit of a throwback Thursday today, because some of these products are some of the oldest products that I reviewed for my blog as well. So we're just taking a trip down memory lane and we're going to be talking about lots of Essence and Catrice products that I haven't tried in years. Some are long-standing favorites. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff here. Some of these products are also new to me because I've never tried them myself. And I went a little overboard on the concealer because I've got 4 concealers for you, which I won't be able to all put on my face. So I'm going to have to make a selection for sure. So let's just get cracking on these OG Essence and Catrice products. So as I was going out to buy some of these products, I was like, but what are some things that they always discontinue? And I found out that it's mainly their color products. So lipstick, eyeshadow, blush, those things aren't around for very long. That's where they seem to change things up the most. But in like base products, they have kept some things around for a long time. However, in the case of primer, I'm just gonna go with the primer that is currently in my Shop My Stash, which is the Essence Prime and Studio Hydrating and Skin Refreshing Primer. This is a lovely little primer. It's kind of like lotiony, almost like feels more like skincare than an actual primer. So I do like that because I like very sort of hydrating primers. I don't really like the ones that are too like making your makeup stick down sort of. But yeah, this is a lovely primer. And the reason why I went with this is because in terms of primer, I think Essence and Catrice were a little late to the game, so they didn't really make these kind of products until like a few years ago. And this is again a part of their collection in which they have just made lots of changes over the years. So I couldn't really find anything that I remember using that was still around. For instance, I really like the Catrice Light Correcting Primer. I'm not sure, it came into one of those like drop bottles. Those were really nice primers, but they seem to have stopped doing them altogether. So I've tried a lot of these over the years, and they are very lovely, but this is the one that's currently on the market and that I can still get. So I thought I could still feature that before we really get into throwback territory. Another primer I would like to feature is the Catrice Waterproof Eyeshadow Primer. This is the eyeshadow primer they are currently doing, but Catrice usually do an eyeshadow primer as part of their line. They just change the packaging a lot. Formulas tend to change, whether there's a bit of color to them or not changes as well. But I have to say, from both Essence and Catrice, I've tried several of their eyeshadow primers and they've never really disappointed me. I just need an eyeshadow primer to sort of get the job done, you could say. So that's why these are just really good enough for what I need. And this one does have a little bit of a tint, but not enough for it to really cancel out my lids. I'm not sure if this one is still available. This is the Plump and Blur lip treatment. I've been using this all January. This gives you like a layer over your lips to sort of prime your lips before lipstick. And I really like it for that, but it's not hydrating enough for it to be a lip balm. And I don't really believe in lip plumpers, so I don't think it works for that. Okay, so this looks a little weird at first because it goes on white, but as it sits on your lips, it will sink in and then it will just look like your lips. Are we ready for a throwback? Who remembers this foundation and the rage it caused in, I think European beauty bloggers were raving about this foundation for years. It's the Catrice All Matte Plus Shine Control Makeup. I have mine in the shade 010 Light Beige. I remember getting rid of this in the end because it was too dark. It's the lightest shade they do. So that's a bit of a shame, but this is, I think, a medium coverage. Yeah, medium coverage, long-lasting shine control. This probably also doesn't go with my skin tone very well and my skin type, but this is one of the first ever foundations I reviewed on my blog, and I just thought I could go back to it to try it now, because I didn't try foundation until quite late in the game. Like, it was one of the last makeup products to really be added to my routine. So how do I feel about this like 7 years down the line? I don't know. Do you see how thick that is? Ooh, I'm really curious how much I like it now that I've tried so many other foundations and I know a lot better what I like in terms of foundation. Oh, it smells very lotiony. So that's what the foundation looks like. I think it's not too terrible. It's like with a sponge, it's more like a light to medium than anything else, I think. I quite like it, actually. It just, yeah, it's too yellow for me. That's what's wrong with this one. I think it looks fine around here, but here in my neck, like I'm a little red and a bit blotchy perhaps, but you can just see that it's just the completely wrong tone for me. Like, it doesn't have the right undertone, and that's one of the gripes with OG Essence and Catrice is shade inclusivity. Like, this is the lightest shade available. I think it's oxidizing a little bit too, so it's becoming a little darker as it sits on the skin, and it's definitely turning a little darker. It's making me look a little too yellow, and if a foundation is too yellow, I mean, some yellow toned foundations can still work on me because I'm more like a neutral undertone. But very often if it's too yellow, you can just look a little jaundiced and it looks like you've got, like, I don't know, like you have cirrhosis or something like that, like you have a really, really bad liver problem. Yeah, I definitely have other foundations also at the drugstore, also from Catrice, that I think work better. Their HD Liquid Radiance wasn't even released everywhere and it was discontinued within a year, but that's still my favorite Catrice foundation till this day. We are moving on to concealer, and I know exactly which products I want to use here, so I'm going to talk about those last. Of these two, I prefer the Essence over the Catrice, but let's talk about the Catrice one first. This is not their liquid camouflage concealer, okay? Their liquid camouflage concealer is one that I love. It's one of my long-standing favorite concealers of all time. I haven't used it in a while. I need to go back to it, I think. But yeah, this is their Camouflage Cream Concealer, which I think was released around the same time. And this is in the shade Ivory, and it's one of those pot concealers. I'm actually thinking, like, should I just leave it sealed? Because I'm not sure how much I will actually be using it. But yeah, I used one of these up in the past. I'm not gonna lie. And I remember this being really lovely as like a pot concealer. I definitely think I want to roll this into a Shop My Stash in like a few months time, because I think this may be nice in like the spring summertime, like around May, June-ish. I think I might like a product like this, so then I can use it. Speaking of using up concealer, this one I used up in 2020. This is the Essence Stay All Day 16-Hour Long-Lasting Concealer. It only comes in 2 shades, of which I have the deepest one. 20 Soft Beige. This is a very fair toned concealer, but you guys, it's super hydrating. It's super basic. It retails for like $2.50, and it is up there with like favorite concealers because I used it up completely before decluttering it, and that usually says something because that was a lovely concealer and I really liked it. But as I was shopping for these products, because I was like, oh, I can show you guys this one, the Stay All Day. But I found these when I was at the store, and I was like, I've never tried this, and this is such an OG throwback. Who remembers the Catrice concealer palette? They still sell this. Like, how? How is this still on the market? I don't understand. Oh, and by the way, I now know why this foundation isn't perfect, because I'm getting itchy. Like around here and around above my brows. it's starting to get really itchy. So I thought we could make a combo of these two. This, by the way, is the Essence Stay Natural Concealer with moisturizing panthenol, and it's one of those brush-on concealers that only comes with like 2 grams of product. Like, is it even 2 grams? 1.5 milliliters. So it's not even 2 grams. So this is one of those concealers you can use up really quickly. But I thought this could be pretty on the under eye. And then maybe I can use some of these concealers more so around my face. It also comes with a green tone and a peachy tone. The peach tone is too dark for me, and this, actually the darkest shade in this, is a really good cream contour shade. I remember a lot of people are like, oh, cream contour. So maybe we can do cream contour with this too. I'll do cream contour for you. I haven't done cream contour in like 2 years, so bear with me. So it's got a little brush, and then you click it up. Took ages, by the way. I took pictures of this for hopefully a review, but I have no clue what it does in terms of coverage. But it's called, the shade is called Tender Rose, but it is quite thick for one of these like brush-on concealers. This is more of a, oh, this is a great makeup, no makeup day kind of concealer. I know. Like, I like this like more brightened under eye if I'm wearing not that much other makeup, and then just set it with a powder. Then you do have a little bit that more awake sort of feel. But yeah, this is not something I will wear a lot like this. Yeah, it is a nice one. It's very sort of, it really reminds me of the Glossier Stretch Concealer, but that's more moisturizing. Like this does look a little bit matte now it's blended in, but it's doing nothing to conceal the darkness under my eyes. It's definitely more like a brightener. So I think I'll layer a bit of this on top. So I think I'll use this darker shade more so like on my nose. And since this is cream, I think I'll just use my fingers. And this is just best because it's a little thicker. It's just better if you apply it with your fingers, because the heat of your fingers will really help it to blend in. I'm going to use the lightest shade because that has a bit of a peachy undertone to it, so I think it might help with some of the color correcting that I would like. Oh yeah, this is much stronger than the one that's already there. Yeah, so this feels a lot drier than the other one, so I don't think it's perfect for the under eye, but for the face it works really well. For powder, I still have the OG version of this, but the Catrice, well, 5-in-1 setting powder, prime and fine setting powder, I find these to be very comparable in their performance, but they are not the exact same powder. Before I sat down to film this video, I had a quick look at the ingredients. The old one has talc, cornstarch, and dimethicone as its top 3 ingredients. The new one has, so that's the 5-in-1, has talc, aluminum starch, and titanium dioxide as its top ingredients, followed by nylon. It does have dimethicone, but it's not until the very end of the ingredient list. Plus the shades of these are very different. So let me show you what this looks like. The Prime and Fine is more yellow toned, has a bit more of a skin tone to it, whereas this one is a stark white. However, in terms of performance, I find these to be very similar. They do the same thing for me. And I think I'll just go with the new one so you can see that going on, because the other one you can't even buy anymore. But yeah, when I'm due a declutter, I think I'll get rid of this one. I'll keep the old one for now, because I just have so many other powders that I don't really need this. But it is a good drugstore powder. But I am a little, just a little bit choosy and a bit of a snob when it comes to powder. And for brows, okay, and for brows, we're going to be using this. Again, a product where I was like, Catrice, how are you still selling this? This is their eyebrow powder set. It comes with a little drawer, and inside the drawer, can I take out the drawer? No, I can't. But inside the drawer, you get a, just the finicky, most finicky little brush with a spoolie, but they actually work. This is actually a pretty good brow brush. It has just the amount of give that you would like. And then it also comes with miniature tweezers. It's just so great. And again, this is super affordable. And then what you get inside are 2 brow powders, and the lightest one is exactly the tone I need for my brows. And this was one of my first brow products I ever used. The only reason why I decluttered it was because this lid no longer closed. So the product was going bad because the packaging was just faulty. I think some of the hinge or something broke off and then it just wouldn't snap back into place completely. But I tried an Anastasia brow powder and put it up against this. This was better. So let's see how this looks. Maybe I'll fall back in love with brow powder. Who knows? I quite like that look actually. And it matches my brow hair color just perfectly. It's got that ashy sort of undertone to it that I love. So if you're a blonde and you like brow powders, then Catrice's brow set might just be for you. That was quite easy. And then of course, if you've been following my blog or my YouTube channel for any length of time, you know my love affair with the Essence Make Me Brow. This is my favorite brow gel of all time. I've used the Benefit, I've used the Glossier. Nothing beats this. Nothing beats this. This is my 5th tube, I think. I've been using this for years. This one is actually on its last legs. I think I need to roll it out of my stash and try something differently. I still have the ColourPop brow gel as well to try. I've tried the e.l.f. one. I've tried lots of different brow gels over the years, and every single time I come back to this because, again, it doesn't come in a whole lot of shades, but what's the shade called? Oh, the shade has rubbed off. I think it's called Blondie Brows. Yeah, Blondie Brows. It's also on the tube. It's the shade I use, and it's perfect for my blonde brows. So there you have it. Brows are done. Now we're going to do a bit of cream contour. I'm a bit scared, I have to say. Let's see. I haven't done this in a while. Tried not to put powder over here. So shall I? Yeah, I'll go in with my middle finger. I think that will give me more control. So I'm taking that bronzy shade from the concealer palette. Maybe I should have put some clips in my hair. And then I think where, like my cheekbone, it sort of goes here, but I like to put it a little higher. Because else it drags my face down, I feel. Ooh, we can see that. For some reason, whenever I do any sort of cream contour, I always feel it shows up on camera so much better than it does in real life. I don't really contour anymore because I just found that contouring on me, like I think if you have a very round face, it can be very pretty to give your face a different shape. But if your face is already angular or long, a contour is just going to not make much of a difference, or you would have to contour differently. I usually contour like my forehead to make it look a little less long and big. That's what I usually use a bronzer for though. Again, let's give it a feel. So there we have it. Again, this concealer palette is only available in one shade. So the fact that this works on me, if you have a deeper skin tone, you could use this shade as a concealer shade, I'm sure. But on me, it makes a cream contour. Going in with bronzer, and for that, I selected an Essence bronzer. Now bronzers, I couldn't really find anything in both of the lines that could work on me for a very long time. Yeah, so on my fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, every single bronzer they did until fairly recently was just way too warm toned. Doesn't mean I didn't try them, but it made me look like an Oompa Loompa. It just wasn't a good look. So that's why I was very happy to see that Essence currently does a product that I don't know how I missed it, but they're doing the Sun Club Natural Glow Bronzing Powder in a cool tone. I'm like, ooh, that I can get down with Essence. Plus it has a really pretty embossing. I'm not sure if you can see it. It definitely looks like a bronzer shade. It has, do you see that it's a little yellowy leaning? I love bronzers that lean a bit more yellow toned because they usually pull a little bit more neutral than when they are very orange or red. And it's got a hint of glow. I do think it may be just, yeah, I think it's light enough for me too. But I didn't know about this, and the Sun Club bronzers have been around for a while, so I thought I could try this for you in this video. It's a little warmer than what I would usually go for. This may be a good, like, summertime bronzer for me. Right now it's a little, Ooh, yeah, it's a little too dark for me. Do you see that? I just go like super pale, super dark. So we've got that. And then OG highlighter. This may very well be one of the first highlighters I ever tried. The Catrice High Glow Mineral Highlighting Powder in the shade 010 Light Infusion. Oh, that shine. It's a baked formula. And I remember, I'm not sure even sure. Ooh, yeah, it's got a lot of white to it. So I'm not sure. This is not the kind of highlighter we expect anymore nowadays. It's got a lot, it's like pretty powdery. Does it have a cast? It doesn't. It is very icy though. This does come in 3 different shades now. I remember this used to be the only shade, but they now also do some slightly deeper ones. But yeah, I only really need to use a little bit of this to make it work. I think that's a pretty highlighter actually. Oh, so yeah, falling back in love with that one. And for blush, as I mentioned at the start, blush, lipstick, eyeshadow is what is discontinued the quickest. So the blush lines are very different nowadays than they used to be. However, Essence is the blush. I think that if you have a satin touch blush, a matte touch blush, or now these ones that are called the blush, they come in very similar packaging. I think they may have changed formulas over time a little bit, but these are still as good. I've tried all 3 of these because I did go to stores to pick this up because that way I felt it was easier for me to find what was still there because online I was like, I don't really like that. Are you excited for this one? I am, because I mentioned eyeshadow is what they discontinue quickest. So I took the liberty of buying myself the 3 5-in-a-box palettes I did not own yet from Catrice. These are new for the fall, but I bought the other 3 because I was like, I really want to own the entire set. So I got the neutral one, which is called the Golden Nude Look. And all of these palettes have the same layout. You get 2 shimmers and 3 mattes, a light like champagne-y kind of shimmer in each one of these. They are varying in depth depending on the palette you get. Then you get a lighter blend shade, you get a crease shade, you get a shimmer for all over the lid, and then you get a deeper shade to deepen things up. So this is the more, like the most neutral, like everyday kind of soft, glam kind of look. It's cold gold, but I actually feel that this shimmer isn't really much of a gold. It's more of a bronze, to me anyways. So I'll swatch it for you. It has quite a lot of orange to it. It's not like a yellow tone gold. And then they also have a very warm toned look. This is the warm spice look. So this is far more orangey, and then this shimmer is much more copper. Much more of a coppery tone. So let me swatch that for you. Do you just see how buttery and smooth these are? Like in terms of quality, this is also one of the best ones, I think. It's got some really good shades. If you are very much into warm tones, I think you might like this. Plus you can just see here, if I put these side by side, you can see that that lightest shimmer is just a little different. In the spicy one, it's more of like a soft golden tone rather than a true champagne. But the one I want to use today is the other one I hadn't tried yet. That's more cool tone leaning, and it's the soft rose look. This is such a pretty, like, rosy tone palette. I think this can be really nice. Plus, I swatched this shade. It's a rosy taupe. I think I have to try this. But I want to swatch this next to Mugshot, but from the Urban Decay Naked 3. Because I think that might be a dupe. And that's one of my favorite one and you're done eyeshadow. So this I thought was stunning. I think that this can be nice because you've got this really lovely rosy sort of shade and this like very light taupey transition. And also this champagne is like, it reminds me a lot of, I'm not sure what it's called, but in the Gunmetal stack by Melt, there is a white, but it's like a dirty white. It's got a lot of gray running through it. And this shade reminds me of that, where, yes, it's a champagne, but it's got this pinky, grayish, taupey sort of quality to it. And you get a cool tone dark brown, which is quite possibly the star of the show, because this, that's a matte from Catrice. And these retail over here, these are only €1 more expensive than the e.l.f. bite-size palettes. No matter which one you get, not a single one of these has a dud shade. Not a single one. Whereas with the e.l.f., the quality is very sort of like, this one is good, this one isn't. If you're looking for affordable mini palettes, I mean, I own these, so I'm not going to be buying those ColourPop 5 or 6 pans that they came out with, because I've got these. So I'm going to do a look for you with that, but I'm going to go again out of my comfort zone, because we are also going to be adding in a bit of black liner. This is the Essence Liquid Ink Eyeliner. If you are looking for a good bog standard brush tip eyeliner, liquid liner, that is black, like black as black, that stays put all day and that is still easy to use even with my very deep creasy eyes, and it's still on the market till this day. And to be quite fair, I haven't tried any other liquid liner that has ever worked for me as good as this little €2. I think this is only €2. It still works. So I'm not going to talk you through this eye look because this is making me very nervous. We all know how much I hate doing eyeliner on camera. I'm not good at it. Let me zoom you in. Mascara then. You knew I was going to talk about these. The Essence Lash Princess is one of my favorite drugstore mascaras. I rolled this in my Shop My Stash because I knew I was going to film this video, plus the mascara I'm currently using is almost out, so I know I can roll this in once that is gone. So, and this is just one of my favorites. So I was like, that's a nice coincidence to do that. And this is a great sort of like base layer volumizing mascara, and then what I like to do with any mascara I use, regardless of how expensive it is top it up with the Catrice Glam and Dole waterproof mascara. And what this does for me is that it really separates my lashes, plus because it's waterproof, I can use it on the lower lash line. For lips, the lipstick, this lip treatment thing has now done its thing. It's nicely sunken in, so I like to rub it off a little bit because it's got some like dry flakiness afterwards. I like to take that off. And then we're going in with Essence, because I think Catrice does my favorite lipsticks, but a lot of my favorite lipsticks from Catrice have been discontinued over the years. And I thought I could try something that's a little bit more me right now. I've been loving gloss. And Essence do some really lovely lip glosses. The Shine, these have had different names, but these are the Shine, Shine, Shine Wet Look lip glosses. They've done renditions of this in so many shapes and forms over the years, but Essence lip gloss is just a really good thing that they just do really well, and they really do very good lip liner. So I thought we could do a lip liner with a gloss on top combo. But yeah, we're going to go in with the Stay 8-Hour lip liner in the shade Curious, and then the Shine, Shine, Shine Wet Look Gloss in Think Pink. I think that shade is really pretty. What do you think? I think that looks really pretty. What do you think? But I do really like the look. This is a really, really nice combo. I think this is, and you know, you could buy something like this from like Charlotte Tilbury at like €50, or you can get it for Essence for less than $5. And then last but not least, we definitely need to talk about an OG favorite. the Catrice Multi-Talent Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. This is a product, this was one of the very first fixing sprays they ever did. It's still in their line. Tati raved about it way back in the day. And it doesn't come with a lot of product. These only come with 50 mils, but they are like cheap and cheerful, like €5, and then you're done. Very nice fine mist, I love that. Yeah, that's what this makeup look would look like. I have to say the foundation, not a huge fan, mainly because it gave me a little bit of like a itchy, tingling sensation in some places of my face. That did go away, it's not lingering. I do think it oxidized on me a little bit, but yeah, I think that overall this look came together quite nicely. And without further ado, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make 3 new videos a week, so I hope to see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye.